Is your upper back holding back your squat and your bench press? Well, I'm gonna give you everything you need to know today to improve your upper back strength, improve your squat and your bench press. Let's get to it. Hey there, Smitley here from Thirst Gym. And when it comes to performing big squats and big bench presses, there's one thing in common across all lifters, and that is a big back. Now, while the back musculature isn't directly moving the weights in the squat or the bench press, they are highly important to transferring the force into the barbell for those particular exercises. Whether that be the barbell on our back for our back squat, we're driving our back up into the bar, or if we're setting our back, keeping our lats tight, making sure everything is in locked in position as we actually go to press. Regardless of which one it is, your upper back musculature is going to be incredibly important to help you maintain those positions, but also then continue to add load to the barbell throughout your other exercises. So again, as you're looking at your upper back exercises, we're gonna talk about how you can use some of these to not only help in terms of preparation, but a supplemental, accessory, and even your max effort or main movements to help your back position. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I would recommend is doing face pulls and pull aparts every day that you hit the gym as part of your warm-up. Now, I'm taking a little bit here from Matt Winning, so credit to Matt Winning for this, but doing the work that you need to focus on in the front end, even if it's just part of a warm-up, is gonna give you extra stimulation, extra work, and prepare you not only for the training session, but almost give you quote-unquote free volume and free work. Chances are if you're lagging on something, you need to actually prioritize it, so putting it at the front end of the training session, even if it's part of your warm-up, is a great idea. So, start off with some band face pulls. I would start every session with 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 25 reps. I would say the goal is to build up to about 100 of them. And then you could also do band pull aparts. So again, taking the band here and pulling towards your chest. Same thing, doing anywhere from 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 25 reps. You could superset these, you could do them independently, doesn't matter. But regardless of which way that you choose to do it, you're just gonna get a lot of extra upper back work. And so what that's gonna do is just help us from a positional standpoint, add a little extra meat there that's obviously gonna help, but at the same time, not hinder the exercises that we're getting ready to do for the day, but then also help prepare us for the exercises that we're doing today. So this is a great free way to immediately improve your upper back. Now let's talk about some of the more specific exercises that you can do to help do that in terms of your main training work. All right, the first exercise I'm gonna recommend is doing a safety squat bar, close stance, low or around 90 degrees box squat. Now, the reason I like this is it's going to develop the thoracic spine, the upper back, because the bar is trying to push us forward. So this is going to help us positionally be in a better spot for our squat. Now, you might build a little bit of extra muscle here that's going to help your bench press, but I wouldn't bank on it. This is, again, more squat oriented, but you're just going to take your safety squat bar, come out, again, close stance, that means feet are around hip width, and we're going to come down to the box and then drive up. Here, boom. The goal is, as I come off the box, the bar is actually trying to push me this way because of the camber. So right here, I have to stay statically strong to come up off the box. I'm also learning to drive my head and my traps up into the bar to get off that box position. Now, you can do this in one of 2 ways. If you're a conjugate person, this can be your max effort movement, so you can do it for heavy set of 1 to 3. If you're just using this as a supplemental based exercise, my suggestion is to do this about 3 to 5 reps for anywhere from 2 to 3 sets after your main squat work. Focusing on maintaining the position first and foremost, because again, this is gonna try to pitch you forward. Having the low box position is also gonna make sure that the first movement that your body's gonna try to do is to lean forward, and you're gonna wanna resist that to push through your legs to maintain that static position in your squat. All right, the next exercise I love is a quality lat pull down. I've got the Tsunami bar here from Elite FTS, which is gonna force me to bend that barbell. I'll talk about that here in a second. But doing some quality lat pull downs, a majority of your training sessions, I would say at least a minimum of twice per week. But if you can kick them up as much as 3 or 4 times per week, even better. And again, you can go back to using this as a preparation-based exercise, like we did the face pulls and the pull aparts, but most people are usually gonna save this for this accessory work. So from here, again, I talked about the Tsunami bar. I love this bar because it bends, and the goal here is to keep that bar bent the whole time. And then I'm going to lean back slightly, pull towards my chest, keep that bent, and then come back up. So the reason I like this bar is because it's forcing me to keep my lats contracted and pull that bar here. So if we translate this into our squat, what we're gonna find is if I come here and have to keep that barbell on my back positionally and tight, this is what's gonna carry over to that for my squat. As for my regular bench press, you'll just lean back a little bit more and knock out some normal reps. But in general, just performing quality lat pull downs is going to develop your lat and your back musculature to help you maintain that position for your squat and your bench press. So if you got the tsunami bar, I really like sets of 10 to 15, keeping that bar bent the entire time. Good quality squeeze at the chest. If you just have a regular lat bar, totally okay. Just knock out anywhere sets of 8 to 10 for your main heavier work to develop the strength. And then if you're trying to develop that back strength for just your squat, as you're doing your lat pull downs, I would recommend holding each one for a brief 1 or 2 count to keep that position locked in, because that's what you want it to feel like, not only across your back, but as you're bringing that barbell towards your chest. The next exercise I love is a quality chest supported row to develop that upper back musculature. Now, I really like the neutral grip handles. You could do the pronated handles, doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but getting a good quality row contraction does. And so the reason I like the chest supported row option is going to teach you to meet the weight. You can do these with dumbbells if you don't have a machine like this, but regardless, however you're doing your rows, doing them supported is going to keep you locked in position, but also then force you to meet the weights with your chest, just like you're going to do when you bench press. So again, here, I'm up here on the machine, grab my handles, unrack, keep my chest tall, because that's what I'm going to do when I bench press, pull, and then back down. Always keeping that chest tall and locked in as I'm bench pressing here. The next thing you do if you really want to kick it up a notch is just do an iso hold at the top for a brief 1 or 2 count. So here, 1, 2, and then back down. 1, 2, and then back down. So notice as I'm doing that, I'm having to meet the weight with my chest, and that's what we want to simulate, because that's what's going to happen as I go to bench press. Do these for really heavy sets of 6 to 10 reps for 3 to 5 sets, adding in that iso hold if you feel that you need to. Otherwise, make sure that you're getting quality reps and you're not heaving the weight, but you're actually using your lats and your upper back musculature to squeeze that bar closer towards your chest. Okay, so we've talked about building the upper back strength, strong in your main movements. We've talked about adding some accessory exercises like lat pull downs and rows and focusing on quality squeezes. Now we're gonna focus on isometric work. And in my opinion, this is where upper back training gets missed out the most on when it comes to improving your squat and your bench press. If you're not doing anything isometrically, you're probably leaving pounds on the platform, because at the end of the day, you're setting your back isometrically as you do your squat and your bench press. So the first exercise I really love is a band pull apart in the bench press position, but we're gonna perform it for the iso hold. So you can do these supinated or pronated, does not matter, that's up to you. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your band, you're gonna get in your competition bench press position here, pull those shoulder blades back and down, take that band here, hold, own that position. Pull that bar apart just like you would if you're bench pressing, and you're just gonna hold this for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds, squeezing as hard as you can, keeping those rhomboids pulled together, squeeze, 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 and then come back. Now, you can do regular reps in that position as well. You can mix it up to where you do 5 reps and then hold an iso for 5 seconds. I've programmed all that stuff and they all seem to work fantastic. The key here is you wanna make sure you're doing isometric holds in that position to keep those scapulas pulled down and back, just like you would when you bench press. You're gonna build that resiliency for holding that position, so when you get to heavy weights, it's no longer an issue of whether you can hold it in your back. It's now gonna actually come down to your chest, shoulders, and your triceps, moving the weight the way it's supposed to, because you're now locked in a perfect position. Okay, the final exercise I'm gonna recommend here is a scap slide with an isometric, and this is gonna be more for your squat. So I've got 2 micro bands here. I've looped one around the rack and I've taken the other one through itself. And so I've basically created handles. And then what I'm gonna do from this position is I'm gonna bring it up like I've got the squat bar on my back, and then I'm going to actually pull that apart and then squeeze my lats down, and then I'm gonna own that position and then hold this as an isometric position. So again, my goal here is to squeeze back and down, maintaining my perfect squat position as I would, and I'm just gonna hold this again for 10 to 30 seconds. Now, if you want to continue to develop some extra backside work, you can hold this position and actually perform the scap slide, holding that position here isometrically every couple reps like we talked about with the band pull aparts. But for most powerlifters, this is gonna be a great way to get that back musculature firing, making sure that you're actively squeezing yourself into that position so that you can isometrically hold that barbell across your back and maintain that nice shelf every time you go to put those heavy weights on the bar. All right, that's gonna wrap up today's video on improving your upper back strength for your squat and your bench press. Before we go to briefly recap, the first thing I recommend here is that you train your back from a full rounded approach. You're not just gonna have one thing or one little exercise that you tag on to fix it. You need to really look at how you're training your back and focusing on a whole rounded approach in terms of adding muscle back there, having isometric and static based work, and picking big quality exercises that are gonna challenge your position of your back for each lift as you need to. To recap though, I recommend starting off with band face pulls and band pull aparts as part of your warm up every single day that you train. Again, this is a quality way to warm your shoulders up. It's gonna make your back feel better, and you're gonna put in a little bit of extra mass from having that extra volume of work that you're doing. You can call these winning warm ups. You can just add them to your warm ups, whatever you wanna call them, but that's who I got that from, is from Matt Winning. The next is then taking a big exercise approach to your main movements or what you're doing currently. So with the squat, we recommended using the safety squat bar to our low box. Just as long as you're using that barbell, you're probably gonna be okay. When it comes to your bench press, the next thing is looking at your lat pull downs and your rowing variations. With the lat pull downs, we talked about maintaining a quality squeeze on each single rep, making sure you're doing that anywhere from 3 to 4 training sessions per week, mixing up the sets and the reps that you're using and how you're doing it. But basically, as long as you're getting ample lat work every single day that you hit the gym. And then on your rows, again, make sure you're getting quality squeezes, owning that position, and how I really like the chest supported option to keep your chest just in that same position as you would when you bench press. And the final piece here was the isometric work with the pull aparts and the scap slides, making sure that you're isometrically strong in those positions. And these are, again, more of your tertiary or lower level accessory based work. But again, I do think there are pieces that people do not train that can have a high transfer to maintaining your upper back position in your squat or in your bench press. If you happen to like today's video, do me a favor, smash that like button, leave a comment, share with a friend. I would really appreciate it, and I'll make sure I see you at the next video.